Hi, Gio. So,
Hi.
hello. So, this is the 10th year anniversary of Criers for Hire. How different is this 2026 version to the 2016 version? What changes did you make?
We're making some changes with just some of the character behaviors. Um, uh, I think I don't want to give it away, but some of the relationships are slightly different. Tapos, I feel like some of the characters have more grit.
Uh-huh.
Like, kasi I mean, they already have grit, right? Like these are based on my titas and my based on it's my mom's story, right? But I think the journey of Ligaya coming here, it's still the same time period, so early 90s. She's a little older, so mga I think in in the original play she was about 14. We're aging her up a little bit,
Mhm.
mga 16 na siya kasi I I mean, Filipino relationships are so interesting, right? Hindi pa rin sila sumasagot, right? Even if I mean, to this day, I'm very conscientious of kung sasagot ako sa nanay ko, right? But there's something different from a 14-year-old to a 16-year-old, I feel.
Uh-huh.
Um, uh, and Narciso's trajectory is slightly different as well. I one thing that I will say is that in the original production he was Colombian. In this production he's actually Mexican, right? So
Oh.
I really wanted to in my work in the last 10 years after Criers was published, I really found so many similarities with the Mexican and the Filipino culture. Kasi yun,
Mm.
Acapulco and Manila Galleon that went
Yes.
back and forth. Um, uh, so a lot of the work that I do is like, wow, we are really very similar in behavior and culture and religion.
Mm.
So Ligaya and Narciso actually find that friendship, but the mom doesn't really know because she's Pinay na Pinay, right? So doesn't
Mhm.
really have that knowledge. So the transformation is more evident um, uh, for Ligaya.
Mhm. So, why do you think people relate a lot to this play?
It's so funny, right? Like, and it doesn't give it away in the beginning, right? Like, there's a character that's TNT, and I'm like, wow, we're actually still talking about it.
Mm.
I was, it's not mentioned in this play specifically, but I was looking at another play of mine from the same time, and I bring out ice, and I'm like, wow. I think as immigrants or children of immigrants, we're very aware of it. But in the States, now everyone's really aware of it. Diba? Like we've always known, alam naman natin, but we've always known the stories, but now you cannot hide from it anymore.
Mhm.
Like talagang nasa harapan mo, diba? So that's one thing that I think is really interesting is that people will watch this and say, wow, did you just write this? I'm like, no, I wrote it 10 years ago. And by the way, Jessica Hagedorn wrote stories about it 40 years ago. Carlos Blossom wrote stories about it 60 years ago. The story keeps coming back
Uh-huh.
for some reason.
Yeah. How do you choose the actors who are portraying the characters here in this play? Can you talk more about them and why are they perfect for their roles?
Well, Joy, her name is Joy. Di ba? Joy was actually the very first person who did the public reading with East West Players, and Tim Dag directed that. The very first reading, and Sandy also.
Yeah.
Sandy was also the original baby. Uh, and funnily enough, when I met Joy, Joy was just like post college. She just finished college, and I think in the last 10 years she's grown. This is so funny because she's grown to understand Ligaya as a teenager now,
Mm.
which is really interesting, right? Also because I think Joy is Filipino American and born and raised here. Um, I feel like maybe the understanding wasn't there back then, but now as she has uncovered, she's written so many plays. I think whatever her musical, I can't remember the name. Supportive White Parents,
Mm.
where she imagined her parents as being white, was like the start of really unmasking her Pinay identity.
Mm.
And I've worked with Joyce so many times in the last 10 years, and now I was like, wow, let's go back to this. You're perfect. I think you're really ligaya.
Yeah.
With a name like Joy. And then Sandy just same thing. Well, I wasn't really involved with the casting to the T before, but I don't know. I don't remember if Sandy auditioned for the actual production that John Rivera directed. But this time around, being a mother,
Mhm.
it changes you completely. I was talking to her, and she was like a 6 or 7 year old kid,
Yeah.
you know. Or, and her daughter is like learning from her as well, and it's really interesting how time really changes us
Mhm.
as artists and as humans. Tapos Evie Abbott, I was just reading the play, and Evie is uh, Tita Meding. Evie's comic timing is just on point. Napaka kwelang-kwela talaga, right? Like just gets it. And Bianca is someone I just recently started working with. Um, and funnily enough, I was in Singapore and I was doing some work there, and her the cartoon that she voices, Gabby's,
Mhm.
is huge. It's so huge over there. But Bianca's another one of those folks who I just started working with the last year, and I was like, wow, you're so Pinay, but so American. And she's from Texas, right?
Yeah.
Um, so just that sensibility of being Filipino and American, which is to, to Pinoy, she's not Filipino enough, and to Americans, she's not American enough. Really understands that, and just so funny. These women are so funny. All four of them are just hilarious. I can't wait for them to be in the same room to work together.
Yeah. So why is this play such a passion project for you?
Well, when Tim commissioned me to write about it, I really wanted to honor. Oh my God, I'm gonna get emotional. I get so
Mm.
emotional so fast. I really wanted to honor my Lola. Her name is Lola. Her name is Baby. Um, uh, and I just wanted, and she had just recently died during that time, and I was like, oh, this is a really great way to honor her and her sister, Tita Henny, and the matriarch of the sisters, Lola Meding. So it's really the uh the three of them getting together, right? Henny, Baby, and and Meding. Um, and I think that's the reason why it keeps on coming back. And I wanted to bring it back because, again, politically speaking, we're having to say we have a right to be here,
Mhm.
right? Um, and not just in LA. They're doing the a shorter version during the Filipino American Theater Festival in Chicago
Mm.
a week later, right?
Mhm.
Um, and just the relationships of Pinays are so inspiring to me. I was raised by women. Um, Also, they are the first people who really understood me and welcomed me as a gay person. You know, and I think that's why Ligaya, I really like created her to be a female character, um, because I was like, oh, I would understand her more, as a writer, if that was the way we wrote it. Um, but yeah, that's really the reason why I love this play so much. And at the end, I honor the women, my lolas and my titas,
So this Lola is on maternal side or paternal side?
the mother side.
Mother.
So actually, Lola Baby is the one who raised me in the Philippines.
Mm.
So and then I moved to the States when I was 12. Um, and then I named my mom her name. And funny story. So she watched it. She came in for the weekend. She was watching it. And then at the end of the play, she looks at me and she's like, hindi naman nangyari yan. Ng ganyan. Like it didn't happen like that, right? I was like, well, yeah, of course it didn't happen that way because it's fictionalized
Yes.
slightly.
Yeah.
But yeah, the mom is to a T. It's very close to my mom. Yung
Okay.
talagang bigat.
So, what were some of the challenges of that you encountered mounting this play this year, and how did you hurdle them?
I well the challenges I think is David Henry Huang they just did the musical right in at East West Players, right? Um and he rewrote it a third time around, right? And the associate artistic director of East West, Annie, actually was the dramaturg for the musical, and they worked on it together. And so when I told East West about it, but first when it was picked by Curtis, right? Because it was we had to submit, and there's a lot of people that submitted, and I became one of the recipients. And the first thing that came to my mind when I got picked was I was like, well, we have to honor East West because Tim Dang was the one who commissioned it. So I reached out to East West. And of course, they're totally all about it. Uh, and Annie was like, well, I think one thing that we could do is we could look at it again and maybe tweak some of the language. Some of the comedy is not as relevant. It doesn't land anymore. Because it's like an origin story. It's a period piece now because 1990 is over 30 years ago. Diba? Diba? It's like 35, 36 years ago already. So I don't want to be that playwright who's like, I'm not gonna change the play. Um I'm one of those playwrights who will go back and say, alam mo, maybe it's not appropriate to say that line anymore. So I look forward to continuing evolving with it, right? Um yeah, I think that's one of the hurdles is going back and looking at the script again. I just looked at the script again and I was like, wow, there's so much that happens
Mhm.
within it. Um Casting wise, that wasn't a hurdle because we have so many strong Filipina actresses. I think that's one of the things is like, oh my God, who's gonna play this? Because I didn't want to ask the same folks who did it before.
Mhm.
Um, but they're invited. They know about it. Joan knows about it. She's in Missouri doing a musical. So like people, I reached out to all of them. Right. Samantha just had a baby. She's being a mother. Uh, so cast wise, we were pretty complete. The person that I wanted to get involved, Mara Palma was recommended by East West, right? So East West, one of the collaborations that we have with Curtis Theater at East West is they provide creatively. So Annie Jinwang is helping out with reshaping the play dramaturgically and finding a director, right? John directed it last time. Alam mo na, John, Tita John is always busy, so I think he's out of the country in September during rehearsals, and then he'll be back for the presentation. But we have Mara Palma who's directing it, who was the directing fellow for
Mhm.
for the musical with East West that they just did, right?
Yeah.
David's play.
And how is it working with Mara? This is your first time to work with her?
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. Have you met her before?
No, not yet.
Very, very sweet and very caring. One of the conversations we had was, um, uh, I was like, I just, I just want you to really create a very loving environment, a very nurturing environment, um, and that was like such a given.
Mm.
And yeah, that wasn't a problem at all.
And have you ever experienced the real criers for hire in the Philippines? And what was your
No! Have you?
no?
I I mean, no, I haven't. No, I have not. I have um I think I don't remember who it was. It could have been Ruben Uy who talked about it because he's
Wow.
Chinoy and he mentioned something to that extent. But I don't know if you know, but my lolo, my mom's dad, is Chinoy.
Hmm.
And so that was part of the reason I delved into this was also delving uh, on the other side was delving into my Chinoy identity. Um, uh, my my Lolo didn't raise my mom. He left when she was 8.
Hmm.
But but funnily enough, this is another play. So when my mom was here for 3 days to watch Criers, um, uh, I started, because I wanted to be very specific. I think dramaturgically and historically speaking, we need to do the research when we're telling stories. So I really wanted to research Chinese criers, and then at the same time, I started looking for him, um, uh, and I found him.
Oh
I
my.
found my lolo, and he responded to me the weekend my mom was here to watch Criers.
Oh wow.
They haven't seen each other in 55 years, right? So we were real quick story. We're eating at Izakaya in Little Tokyo, and my mom's like, and I was like, Mom, I think someone from your dad's family on Facebook is trying to reach out. She's like, I don't want to talk to him. But then, make a long story short, we find out that he's in Torrance.
Oh my God.
Torrance. The
LA.
following day, Janet, the following day, we go to the nursing home. I walk in, I find him, and he's like, Gio. And then and my mom is like really slow, and she's like, talagang waray, waray na waray, because he's waray, right? And she comes in and she sees him and she goes, Daddy? She turned to this like 10-year-old girl
Oh.
that I've never experienced in my life because my mom is like talagang tigas, right? And I didn't have that relationship with my lolo, but they did. So
Oh.
they rekindled their relationship until he died during the pandemic.
Oh. Yeah, that's
I
another
know.
play.
Another play, talaga. So I think now that he's passed on, he's like the Chinese Filipino watching over this play, so ganon.
So, what do you think audiences will get after watching this play?
I I want to make sure that for Filipinos, they'll get it.
Mhm.
For immigrant families, children of immigrants, they'll get it. I really want to make sure that people who are not from immigrant families understand that that family is family, right? Um, this is the story of a mother and daughter who didn't know each other and had to learn to know each other within a span of a year. But also the strong will of women who come together, right? These four women, like Miding really held them together, right? She's such a rock. Um, and that we are so layered as people,
Mhm.
as Filipinos. There's so many layers to us. We're not just a monolith. Um, I think that's one thing that I want people to learn, and just for people to laugh, and Ligaya really does that. You hear at the end what her Lola said, and and that's why we realize that, oh, this is why she doesn't cry,
Wow.
right?
So congratulations also, Cries for Hire and Other Plays will be published by Philippine American writers and artists in October 2026.
O yung aso ko, yung anak ko. Oh no! Yes, thank
Mm.
you.
Yeah. What an achievement, what so
Oh,
what what are you up to after this? What are you gonna do?
I gotta get this anthology
Yeah.
going. No, you and Ruben know it more than me, but my goodness, editing. Oh my gosh, right? Just going back, and there's Criers is the main play in the anthology, but the others, I was like, just go on ba to, Gio? You have to write it properly, naman, right? It's just because all of the plays have been produced or commissioned. Nothing's new, so I'm looking back at it again, and I was like, oh, it's so much work. I worked on a short piece, 20-page play that we premiered in Singapore. It took me 3 hours just to look over it, diba? It just takes a
Yeah.
long time. But I'm so honored Philippine American writers and artists are publishing it. Shout out to Edwin Lozada and everyone involved over there, because it's going to be a great festival. It's premiering the festival in
Yeah.
October.
Well, congratulations, Gia. Look forward to watching the play again
Thank you. Thank you so much.
after 10 years.
After 10
Yeah.
years. After 10 years, diba?
Yes. So, more power to you. Thank you.
Sige. Thank you, ah.
Thank you.